So let's continue talking about schemes and scams with Megan Govender, who's the head of forensic services at Sanlam. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News this evening. Let's start off with the fact, are we seeing an increase of scams during COVID-19?
Thank you, and good evening, Zinga, and to your listeners. Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, since the beginning of the lockdown, we've seen an increase in the number of scams, specifically using the Sanlam logo, the Sanlam brand. It's just been an unprecedented times that we live in.
So if someone is watching, what are the signs that someone is trying to scam them or they're already part of a scam?
Typically, there's a number of different scams that are doing its rounds. The one is, we refer to it as the advance fee scam. And typically what happens is they offer you cheap loans. And once they would ask the consumer to pay typically an admin fee or attorney fee. And once the payment is made into a third-party bank account, they then block the consumer from any further correspondence with them, either via email or via cell phone. Mm-hmm. The other scam is typically the investment scam, where they offer you quite high returns within a short period of time. And we've seen that just increase over the last 3 months. And obviously, we're living in unprecedented times. And they're using this disaster to target our individuals that are desperate to get their hands on cash or on funds.
We know the economic impact of COVID-19 almost across every segment of the population. Finances are tighter than they were before the lockdown, and that perhaps can make people a little bit more desperate for money and ignore red flags. We're seeing scams like the WhatsApp gifting scam, as well as Planet 49. Talk to us more about those and perhaps what people can do and what information you have for them in order to deal with these kind of scams.
Typically, they need to be aware of where the email or the WhatsApp numbers that are being used. They need to look out for typical things like grammar, which in recent times we've seen actually has improved. So if you were looking at some of these scams 3 to 4 years ago, you could pick it up with a naked eye. Now you need to be a little bit more careful with the correspondence you're dealing with. If it's a company that's being used, you need to go and contact the company themselves. Find their number on the internet. If it's Sanlam, find our number on the website, phone the call center, and confirm whether the correspondence that you're dealing with is actually authentic. I think for me the main thing is to authenticate who you're actually dealing with. Very often, the scammers are using the personal information of individuals for a number of other things. Starting with an ID number, your full name, surname, ID number, bank account in some instances. They're using it for a whole number of other purposes. So it's not just for the scam itself that they're using the details that they're getting their hands on. In some instances, they have copies of your signature on a document. And they use it for as I said, they use it for a number of other schemes. They attempt to use it to get into your investments, to see if they can do some SIM card swaps, to see if they can break into your bank account. So it opens up a whole myriad of possibilities for the fraudsters.
Megan Govender, who's the head of forensic services at Sanlam, thanks so much for your time on SABC News this evening, discussing the different scams that are going around as the COVID-19 lockdown continues in South Africa.